Welcome to HiMind, a podcast where I get high and explore life. This is a special episode with my wife. She didn't actually know it was going to be a podcast. I just sat down and started recording next to her, and then decided to post it anyways. I hope you enjoy. So what I've been trying to do is record myself just doing regular stuff without thinking of it as a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my mind, it's not being used for something, and so it kind of almost relieves the pressure of knowing that it's going to be posted and seen by others. And then if I can get used to the camera not being something, then eventually I'll learn to do that even when it is being posted or even when I am going to use it. Because I think that my podcasts and stuff will get better once I'm able to be more natural and the way that I just am without feeling embarrassed about it.
You're talking different than you talk normally.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
How do I sound?
You sound like you're thinking harder. You talk a little bit louder, and you talk a little more calmly, evenly. Your voice changed the second you had the camera on. You go, so I think that what I'm going to do, you hear the difference.
That's funny because, you know why?
Why?
Because I actually was thinking what if this was a great podcast
right now
and I
you
posted
sound normal.
it?
Right now you sound normal.
That's because I was trying to not think about it.
You're a lot more controlled and a lot more
It's funny, I can flip a mental switch back and forth in my head. I'll decide, no, I'm definitely not going to post this. This will just be practice.
Yeah.
And then I start talking normally and feel like myself. But then I'm like, oh, but what if this is interesting? I could post it. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Why can't you post your
careful
normal
what
self?
I say.
That is your issue.
I think because I'm afraid that my normal self is going to be,
Don't you want to do whatever is your normal self?
I do. And I want my normal self to be...
Then just do that.
Accepted or whatever. But I think I have to let go of the want to be accepted at all.
I was like, it can't be accepted
to
if it
care.
isn't ever put out there either.
That's true.
It won't be there to accept.
Yeah, but at least it won't have been not accepted, right? I think that's the...
Then you might get rejected for something that wasn't the real thing. What a waste.
Yeah. I think maybe my personality is more bent towards being safe and alive rather than...
Hey, look, it's like Susie. All sales share common names for their edges and corners.
I can tell a difference when I play guitar, too.
I'm sure.
My hands feel shaky and unsure when I'm worried about it sounding good, or especially when I'm playing with someone else and I know that they're a really good guitar player, then I'm afraid of them hearing my shitty playing and being like, you suck. But
it makes more sense to me if you're being weird when there's other people there. It doesn't make sense to me when you're recording by yourself.
Well, the idea is that there is going to be other people there
watching
it. They're not there presently.
But I feel like there's only real pressure. I understand feeling pressure if there was someone actually there then. I don't understand feeling pressure at the idea that there might be at some point someone watching. I don't get that at all.
Yeah, that's where I think we're just different.
Yeah, I don't feel that even a little
that's
bit.
Something, luckily that's not something you have to overcome. That is apparently some mental thing that I have to overcome.
Yeah.
But then you have, I don't know, other things too that you would have to mentally overcome that I don't.
Things.
Well, wait, so say if I told you I was going to make this video right here into a podcast that I'm going to post on my podcast, would you feel any different about things you say?
I'm hilarious. I'm adorable.
If I was like, hey, I'm definitely going to post this no matter what happens for the next 10 to 15 minutes.
What, for your 25 followers? Is that going to mess everything? Your mom's going to have a problem with that one? I think it's fine. You post it, babe.
These are the things I think about. I only have 10 followers, but I still get nervous to put things out there. Isn't that funny?
I can't think of anybody that I can think of. Even if I could have anyone watch that I wanted to, there's no one I can think of that would bother me for them to watch it. There's no one.
Not bother you, but maybe you'd be nervous. What about someone you looked up to or something like that?
I don't think I look up to anyone.
You don't look up to anyone?
I really don't.
Wait, but you respect people, right? Not what does it mean to you to look up to someone? What does that mean? When I say you don't look up to any, or do you look up to
someone that I would think, oh, it'd be really cool to be like them.
Oh, but that's different. I'm saying someone basically that you would hold a lot of respect for and maybe value their opinion, not to define yourself, but
I don't really have anybody in that category in a way that affects anything I do.
But what about like...
The only people that even come to my mind when you ask me who I respect is like my mom and dad. And they're the only people that I would care what they think. And I know that even if they don't like something, they still love me, so it doesn't really matter and they'll get over it. So I don't really have anybody in my life, or anybody that I even know distantly, anybody, that it would make a difference to me what they think about anything that I do. My parents, that would affect my thinking, but I'm not worried about them caring how I come off in a podcast.
What if you knew that I had tens of thousands of followers?
Yeah, who cares? Who the fuck are they?
Yeah.
What do they matter? They're watching us.
They don't.
Obviously, we're cooler
that.
than they are. They're watching your podcast.
Yeah, like I don't...
But you know what I mean?
I don't think that it actually matters, but the awareness is weird.
By
I don't know why it plays some weird trick on my mind.
You're in the power seat. That takes away any intimidation. It's different if you're going on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Unless you fucked up really bad in front of people.
How can you fuck up? They're watching you.
Well,
don't you see that automatically the power position? You are innately in the power seat. It's different if you were saying, what if I go on Joe Rogan's podcast?
I don't think of things in terms of power. I think that's why I think of it in terms of embarrassment.
But there's no way to feel embarrassed if you are in power.
Even if I'm the one with the center of attention, I don't feel empowered.
Why not?
I feel vulnerable.
Why?
To judgment. I think because I'm a judgmental person.
They're still watching, aren't they? I don't know. I'm just kind of like, you're in the power seat so long as they even give a shit.
I know, but
that's
what I'm saying. To you, power is what matters. And I'm saying to me, I don't care if I'm in the power position.
It just dispels any kind of...
to you.
It does. It just dispels, and it's like, how could I be embarrassed?
That's what I'm saying. So I need to find what it is that dispels that for me, because power doesn't do it. You're saying when you feel powerful, that dispels you of any
No, it's not. I don't actually feel powerful. It's just more like, I'm just saying... Where could there be embarrassment? That's only if they have something over on you. You care what they think.
Right.
I'm using the word power because it's an easy word to understand what I mean, but I'm saying, like, it's not that, I feel powerful, so I don't care, but I'm sort of like, how can they have any bearing on any of your thinking if they're the ones that seem to need you by watching?
Yeah. That makes sense.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I just don't feel it. You know?
Because I'm like, it's the those who matter don't mind and those who mind don't matter kind of idea. If they're watching, obviously they like what you have to say, and if they're not watching, they don't like what you have to say, but then they're not watching, so it doesn't matter.
Would you say that you're like a logically minded person in that if someone tells you something that will make sense, then you will cease to feel that thing because you're shown how, it doesn't make sense to feel that?
Only if it makes sense to me.
That's what I'm saying. If it made sense to you,
if I
then
owned
you would,
the thought.
Okay, see,
it's different to understand than to own it yourself.
I think I more have to like firsthand experience something for that lesson to set in, not like, hey, what you're saying makes sense to me about the power and stuff like that, and then their opinion not mattering, and all of that makes sense to me.
But you're not owning it. That's
but different. I'm not owning it because I have to live that first and see, like, honest, and that's why, like, I've been trying to play guitar in front of people or jam with people or play in public because I need to see and feel, there's no judgment here.
Right.
And even if there was, it didn't matter, but that'd be a second hurdle to overcome, I think. Because at first, like, I do it with people that I know, like Ryan, who is, like, not judgmental at all and makes me feel like...
Ryan, my cousin?
Yeah. And Rafi and anyone I've jammed with have been cool. Reed.
Right.
But they make me feel comfortable enough to be like, okay, that's one level of non-judgment, just to do it to anyone outside myself. And then I can develop a thicker skin, and then beyond that, then do it in front of people where it's like they might say something like "you suck," whatever, and not care.
It does help to have a layer of confidence, absolutely. Then you have a little bit more built up before you take a hit. Like, I think that's fine.
Right. That's where I think usually when I think about doing something like, I like to play music and write songs, and I think maybe I'd like to play in front of people one day. I think immediately in my head I picture me on a stage, bunch of people watching. I'm like, holy fuck, that's like.
Well, that's
really, really overwhelming.
That's different.
Like,
that's
I almost get sick thinking about it.
But this isn't a crowd of people. This is a camera, and you can delete it if you don't like it. There's zero pressure at all.
Right.
So I don't understand feeling anxious about it.
That's why I'm saying, actually, the more I do it, I get used to it. That's what I'm saying. I have to experience recording myself and putting it out there, and then just, like, getting used to whatever happens.
Fair.
Like, I think that's, too, where, like, you always think I'm really slow in life.
What do you mean?
Like how I move around really slowly and do tasks slowly, I think, which doesn't make sense in day-to-day things, but maybe in new things. So, like, when you wanted me to, when we wanted to do bus life, you want to live in a bus? Like, I was very slow to come over to that because it was so new to me.
You weren't slow to come over to that.
Sort of.
I called you and said you want to live in a bus,
no,
and
it took
you were
me
like,
a couple.
sure.
Yeah, but took me a couple of years to actually adjust.
Oh, you didn't like it for a
I
while,
said sure
yeah.
at first because I was like, that sounds fun, but like I wasn't used to the idea at all.
No, but that had to do with your complexes. That didn't have to do with... That was all your complexes. That didn't have anything to do with bus life. You liked the idea, but then you realized you felt identity-less whenever we got out there. That's not the same.
No, but okay, that was another category of things that were going on inside of me in the deep maze and enigma that I am. There's a whole nother category of just living in a bus scared me.
Really?
Yes. Not of like fear of like, oh, being hurt like that way, like, oh, I'm so scared there's a monster in the closet like that. Like I felt like that's a weird example.
That's weird.
I meant like when I think of, I'm like, I don't know how to do that or make it happen. What happens when we can't figure out how to fill up the water and we're stuck without water? And that's my responsibility. I would feel like I'd be letting you down because I wasn't able.
Yeah, I mean it's stressful.
Wasn't able to provide the
fear.
thing that we needed. Then it'd be like letting you down and then feeling disappointing to you is how I'm afraid to live in a bus.
I never felt that way.
So actually, like when I don't feel that way anymore though, because like I feel like
I think because your confidence has grown that we'll just figure it out because we always do.
Well, and you've also reassured me
that I don't
a
think
lot
the way you
that
think
you
at
don't
all.
think that way and you don't see me that way. And even if I did say fail in that way,
Right.
you wouldn't see me as a failure. You'd just be like, yeah, that thing didn't work. Maybe we'll
Because that
figure
really
it
isn't
out.
a category for failure. That's just something you have to learn. That's not.
Right.
I don't think of things in those terms. I guess.
That is the way I think of it though,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
don't.
why, like, I am my definite worst enemy.
Yes, you are.
See, it's good actually, even with someone like you ask really good questions,
Thank
but you're really easy to just talk to. And I think sometimes people just need to talk and have someone to kind of like I say when they say bounce ideas off someone, I'm not always necessarily needing, you just need to say something to someone and a little bit they say it back to you and it comes back to you and maybe you add a few words or help me understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I learn about myself just by talking to you, but you're not telling me what I think.
Right.
So I'm not like learning from you who I am. Like I'm
Right.
doing that. So I think having you to talk to and being easy to talk to and share stuff with and not ever feel judged or like stupid, or embarrassed for anything. It's like you've never made me feel embarrassed for anything. You have at times when you know it's not something serious, when you're just like, we're just joking around and you know it's not going to really hurt my feelings, just like just for fun.
Like
but
peeking
like
at you over the curtain when you're pooping on the bucket.
Yeah, don't watch me while I'm pooping.
It's too easy.
I wonder if that correlates to anything like your level of shame for pooping in front of people to your level of shame overall. You know? Like,
don't know,
are you a
that's
person
kind
that
of
feels self-shame or self-something?
Shame doesn't even... See, okay, you use words...
I feel ashamed to be seen
So
pooping.
weird.
Like,
You use words that I
feel like
are...
it's the most debased, degrading, like, embarrassing thing to be doing in front of someone.
And that blows my mind because it is one of the most basic, everybody does it. Now, yeah, I don't want to poop in front of people. That's not, like, something I would feel comfortable doing
No.
either. But the word
Well, not, like,
shame
in
doesn't even
public.
have any kind of... That doesn't even make sense in that category of thought to me. Shame, failure, use these really big, like, sinful, earth-shattering words to describe normal day things. Like, you failed because you couldn't find water. You're ashamed you had to poop publicly. Like, it just seems, like, really strong.
I feel like I sound like the most privileged person in the world. Like, I'm so ashamed. Like, because someone's like pooping. Like, wow, your life is hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know. I just, like, I don't understand.
I feel like my life is so much harder. I mean, so much less hard than I make it in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, and I know
is
that
the
I know
struggle.
that objectively that like I've had way less suffering than like 99% of the world probably. Like my life has been very, very good in
Yeah.
those terms, but like it's that weird trick where like you can justify things as being relative. It's like, yeah, well my problems are relative to their problems
Right.
because, they don't this or that, but
Well, I will also say your struggles might be less than a lot of the world, but you also are not an asshole or a selfish prick like most of the world. So I don't think you, like, are relatively...
that's a grim opinion to have of the world.
No, but I mean, like, it's like, yes, some people have had way harder trials, but they also respond in kind. It's like you've had easy trials, but you're aware of that, and you also respond in kind.
Yeah.
You're not expecting to get to be as much of a whiny bitch as a bunch of people, even though you didn't have stuff happen to you. Because that would be ridiculous. Like, if you were trying to tote the white man's woes, it's like, yeah, that wouldn't be fair because you haven't had woes. But you're able to, like...
Hashtag no woes.
it's not your fault you haven't had woes, and you are thankful, and you're not all whiny about your life. So it's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can't force woes upon yourself, and I'm sure they'll come in time.
Yeah, I think that's what so many people are doing right now. I feel like people are trying to force woes upon themselves to identify with others because people think you can
they don't think they're legitimate if they have
you're not legitimate,
struggles.
yeah, if you don't have the same struggles as someone else, and that's a big problem.
I'm
because
just like, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Be appropriate to
Like,
the
why are we
suffering you have
comparing
had.
other people's suffering? If anything, we should just hear someone suffering. If it's better than ours, it'd be like, or they don't have as much, it's like, oh, I'm glad someone's not.
Right.
Or if they're having worse, be like, I'm sorry.
I think the
and
only
then they
time
can be like, it's okay.
that we or at least for me, the only time I despise somebody that has an easy life is if they have an easy life, but they're either not aware, so they're not grateful, they're just selfish and entitled, or if they have an easy life, but they whine like they have a hard life. I'm like, otherwise, I'm like, it's great you have a good life. If you are thankful and you're eager to share and be generous with it, because I mean, that's honestly more our experience. We have a pretty spoiled, like, great life.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think I'm aware that that's also a responsibility then to, like, love and be generous and kind to others. Don't just use it for yourself. And don't whine and act like you've had all these struggles that you haven't had. Yeah. You know, be sympathetic to the people who have had those struggles and try to help them. Like, take your generosity to try to help even the playing field for those who
use
do
it as
have
a
suffering.
strength or a power, not like a,
Let
you
other people
you have to
gain.
pretend like you don't have so we can relate to the people that don't have.
That's really just disrespectful.
I mean, honestly, we try too much to be able to relate when we shouldn't. We should just say, like, I have no idea what that's like, but I know that must be incredibly hard, or whatever it is, and just show, like,
But
compassion.
also don't have sympathy for things that aren't real either. Like, people are just right now.
Like what? You're gonna get my podcast canceled. Say something really horrible.
No, but it's just like how people.
I'm gonna lose all 10 followers because of you.
I think your mom will stay. Like.
Yeah, probably she will.
I think also now.
And that's why I can't trust my mom's compliments. She'll keep watching this. She's like, I've seen all yours. I'm like, I can't trust anything you say anymore.
Your mom doesn't falsely compliment.
Or Omer. He's just too nice.
Omer never says anything complimentary either. They just don't tell you they've watched it. They don't give you thoughts on it.
That's true. He's the thing that Omer hasn't said. It's great. He's like, I've seen all of them. And? He's like, yep. All right, I'll talk to you later, Sacker. All right, Omer. Your mom said, she reached for something really specific. She was like, I liked how you said this one thing. I'm like, so in all of it, that's all there was. I'm like, that one
like
brief
in that
nugget.
Friends episode where she's like, great lighting. No, that's mine. You used that last time. I have to pee.
Why don't you pee right here? No shame.
No shame doesn't mean you want to defecate in public, babe.
Peeing's not defecating.
Is
That's
it not?
urinating.
Really?
No. Defecate. Defecate implies only to pooping.
Why is it defecate?
Because it's your defeces. It's defeces. You defecate.
Oh.
I don't know. It just is. Like when someone says they. I'm
But
pretty
doesn't
sure.
mean I want to urinate either.
Yeah, urinate or defecate. See, you got two different verbs.
I forgot about
Because you can't just say I'm gonna go take a shit and that means pee and poop. Like, there's a word for each.
Although when you say you're gonna take a shit and you go poop, you usually pee also.
I mean, I do. Do you?
I do. Do you?
Do you?
I'm pretty sure.
Thanks for watching. I'm gonna wrap it up right there. Oh, I've been trying to think of like.
No concerns. I'm an ICU nurse.
No concerns? Is that? I'm gonna change that to. That's the name of the podcast now.
What?
No concerns. Hashtag no concerns.
Hashtag
what was
the woes or
no woes. No woes. No concerns.
I feel like I'm not getting as much out of this material because you're talking to me.
That's okay.
Oh, well, there's a diagram.
Oh, but I was gonna say I'm trying to think of a sign off, you know? Like that's what you say at the end. No, not a hand gesture. Like a word you say, like, see you later. Don't say that. Shh. It's a secret thing. I'm gonna post this, you know?
Okay.
You really don't care?
No, babe, why
You'd
would
be
I
100% yourself and just like...
Yes.
Not that you should
You're
be embarrassed.
magnificent.
You shouldn't. I'm not saying you should be embarrassed because you shouldn't. I'm just saying some people don't understand you the way I do and they might judge you.
Well, they can judge away. Who are they to me?
See, that's the...
See, those who mind don't matter, and those... Wait.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Those who mind don't matter, and
those that How does it go?
Those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind.
Yes. So the people that do know me well won't judge me, or if they do, they probably do anyway. And then the people that don't know me well, I don't care because they don't know me well. So
right.
It's not my problem.
And the people that are cool that don't know you won't judge you either because they're not judgy. Only stupid judgy people judge.
Also, their judgment doesn't really do anything to me. So what do I care?
So what's my sign off?
Maybe I judge you. No judging.
I think my podcast is gonna get way better after this. I should just start doing them with you.
Yeah.
We should just hang out and talk.
They're
getting super weird and boring on my own.
Talk to me, bud. I have things to say.
My views have gone down incrementally each one I've posted. The first one was like 130 people watched or something, and I was like, hey, that's like not bad. Like first podcast, 130 people, like that's pretty sweet.
And on this one, you should post that I'm with you on it.
Yeah. Then my next one there was 80. Then the next one like 40, and then the last one I think there was like 20 or 30. Each one it's like I just lose people. Like the first one there's like initial interest, like oh maybe Zach's good at podcasting. They're like
it's cold.
Maybe he'll get better. Second one, maybe the third. No. Okay, I'm done watching him now. I think people would watch because of you,
Maybe.
Or maybe.
And if not, this was entertaining.
Maybe we're most interesting together.
Maybe we're most interesting to ourselves.
That's probably.
I'll find these entertaining for years to come.
Will you?
Yeah.
Will you go back and watch these?
Sure. Why not? It's the Italian stallion. When he
This
was
is
a
gonna
baby.
become the new scrapbooking.
Yeah.
It's. What do you? Or what's a different word? Not scrapbooking. Or how could you make that into a vlog diary?
All right, I'm freezing. Do you want to go bike?
Okay, that sounds good. This sounds like a good place to end. See you later.
Peace out.
Thanks for listening. See you later.